certainly an honor and privilege to be with a basketball legend, Austin Carr, Notre Dame, the Cavs. But let's go Notre Dame first, Austin. Okay. Gosh, your career, the ability to score points. I haven't seen many guys that could score the basketball, truly, you know, the way that you could. I think you were ahead of your time as far as scoring the basketball. Your abilities to put the ball in the basket. Was that something that, you know, you always had in high school, or was that just developed in college?
Personally, I think it started a little bit in my freshman year in high school, where I started to work. And the type of coach I had, it was about repetition. I remember a lot of nights my mother would call the school and want to know where I was, but if we had to make 10 free throws in a row before we could go home. So I would end up, you know, if I couldn't make them, you know, it would take me maybe an hour or two to make 10 straight. But that was at those days. Then I learned by the time I became a senior, I could make 10 straight the first time.
Mr. Carr, one of the great college basketball games I'll never forget. I saw you earlier. I thought you scored 68. That's how great I thought you were. It was Notre Dame UCLA. It was like the big marquee game. Right. And what'd you drop? 46 on UCLA. Mm-hmm. What a performance! Is that one of your pinnacles in college, or were there other games?
Well, actually the whole tournament was, I mean, that was one of my big games, I mean, because it was one of the national games that I played in. But the tournament altogether was because we were independent, so we didn't have a conference to play in. So every time I played in the tournament, man, it was like going to the NBA Finals almost. It was great, and I really enjoyed myself and had good tournaments. I just wish we could have had an opportunity to play in the Final Four, which we only got to the Final 8.
Well, you had a great college career, then you go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and a remarkable career there, 10 years. You've been associated with the club maybe 40-some years in some capacity, but your game was ahead of what the NBA game is today. In other words, your ability to score that ball from the outside. If you were playing today in the NBA, I mean, come on, Austin. Right. How many would you be ringing up?
Well, it would be the one thing I really regret about my professional career is I was hurt a lot, and that really hurt me. Once you start losing your knees in the professional game, it's tough. But with the three-point line came in just when I was going out. So we didn't use it much, but the way it is now, the way they play the game now, I think I would have had a good time.
I know you would have had a good time. Austin, some NBA guys that you played against that had a wow factor for you, as great as you were, there had to be a few of them that you saw and Austin went, oh man, this guy's great. Got a couple?
Well, let's see. What you're talking about, the current guys?
Anybody you played against?
Oh, well, naturally, when I played, it was a different era of the game. So, you know, you had Maravich, you had Calvin Murphy, you had Phil Chenier, Bob Lanier. I mean, so, you know, Kareem. You know, I even played against Oscar one year. So, I mean, and he was the best. And Jerry West. I mean, I had the opportunity to play Dave Bing, who was my childhood idol. I just had a plethora of guys that I could emulate and play after, and it was just a great time for basketball, I think.
Austin, what were your thoughts on, LeBron left Cleveland, and it's America. You can do what you want. I didn't understand, I guess the way that he did it, if he had to do over again, he would have probably done that a lot differently. We all make mistakes in that regard. But what do you think about LeBron's game now with Miami?
Well, I think it's his time. The way things are looking, again, as an ex-player, I might have done the same thing, but I definitely wouldn't have done it the way he did it. And I think he regrets that now. But I think the way things are going, when Rose got hurt and ended up in the finals against an aging Celtic team, I just think it's his time now. And but Oklahoma City don't count them out now. They're
Durant's
pretty good.
Tough.
They are young, hungry, and very aggressive. So it's going to be a battle. That's going to be one of the best series, I think, finals that the NBA has ever had, because you got Durant and Westbrook and Harden against LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. I mean, it's going to be something to watch.
Austin, the way the game is played today, LeBron takes the middle and drives pretty much when he wants to. Mm-hmm. the older days in the NBA when you were playing.
Hey,
when the man takes the middle, he's going to go down on the floor. I mean, you're not out to hurt him.
Right.
You're not going to hurt him, but you're going to put him on the floor. And the game's played differently today.
Yeah, it is. But Mr. Perkins, he's old school from Oklahoma City, coming out of Boston. Boston taught him that. Believe me, he's going to do that. He will be, if LeBron comes down that middle too many times, Perkins will make sure that he meets him at the rim. So that's why I'm really anxious to see what this whole series is going to be like, because it's going to be fun to watch.
Austin Carr, it's such an honor to have you here for Kids Unlimited,
yes.
A program that Chris Amato set up that's helping inner city kids. Kids need, so many things today. They need attention. They need the right kind of lunch. They need the right kind of mentoring and proctoring so that they can grow and thrive. And it's great that you've come back and you're giving back to that program.
Well, that's to me, that's what I'm all about. I mean, I belong to an organization in Cleveland called WOW Youth Opportunities Unlimited, and that's what we do. We give them summer jobs. We help them, we educate them. I mean, we do a lot of different things to try because that's our future. And I've known Chris for such a long time. Matter of fact, I played in this tournament about 8 years ago. And I used to play every year, but I just hadn't been able opportunity to get back. But this year I wanted to, give him my support because the children they are our future, and I just feel good to be involved in it.
Mr. Carr, it really is an honor for us in the BCN network to have a real legend here in town, college and pro. Austin Carr, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
Tom Cole, the coach for BCSN.